On this episode, we're reviewing Kailyn's 16th birthday trip, and in part 1, we talk about Eat by Maneet at Disney Springs before moving to Universal for a night at Surfside Inn, exploring Citywalk, and dinner poolside at Portifino Bay. Today is January 9th, 2024, and this is episode 631 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I'm your host, Jeremy Stein, and I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you did not get those advanced dining reservations that you so desperately wanted at Disneyland or Walt Disney World, don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. And yes, this service really does work. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service.
So today we are talking about our fun little weekend away with our going to be 16-year-old. And we'll do this, going to break it up into two. So this will be our first day, basically, right?
Yeah, we'll do like the first full day on that Friday, and then we'll spend next episode talking about our Saturday and Sunday, which will be all about Universal. So we were heading down to Universal for her trip on Friday and made a stop at Disney Springs on the way, and you'll hear why in a moment. And then we spent one night at Surfside at Universal Orlando Resort, and we spent the second night at Hard Rock Hotel.
Yes.
And we'll talk more about that in the next episode, kind of. Well, maybe we'll get to it in this one about why we did this split stay and all of that. But we'd given Kailyn a choice a bit back on what she wanted to do for her 16th. We said, you can have
Sweet 16.
Yeah, her Sweet 16. We said you can have a party.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't really want to do that. She's like, I don't even know who I'd invite or what we would do.
And I'm all like, you can invite boys and girls. You
Yeah.
can do, but it is hard because it's January and it's not like we could go to the beach or the pool.
Right.
And then it's like, what do you do when you have
let's say you had a dozen
16-year-olds, 17-year-olds in a house. What do you do?
Yeah, you got to entertain them.
Right.
And you can't leave them to their own devices because then you don't know what they're going to do.
Correct.
So we had that choice. We had another choice that was like, we can go to Orlando or something. We can go somewhere. We can rent like, a 2 or 3 bedroom condo or something, and you can invite, 2 or 3 of your girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
I said, or you can invite your boyfriend and we can go to Universal for the weekend. We'll buy him a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
We'll, go do all that. Obviously, that's the one she picked.
Yes.
So we had been planning this for a little while.
Yeah.
And before we get into the Universal side, though, we most recently, 2 new restaurants, of course, that have opened at Disney Springs in basically the past month.
Mm-hmm.
Had Summer House on the Lake, which we just reviewed a couple episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Eat by Maneet,
yes,
which is the new quick service offering that went in the place of the old Wolfgang Puck quick service or to go or whatever they called it.
And it's right there when you come in to Disney Springs and go through security. So I remembered exactly where it was.
Yeah, not from the main parking garage, not from the orange parking garage. This is when you're coming, for example, if you're walking from the different Disney Springs hotels,
mm-hmm.
things like that. So it's that, and
it's by the Christmas store.
Exactly.
Let me just say it like that.
So we really wanted to try this. We knew that when we were there last time, we just weren't going to have the time or the bandwidth to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to make sure that we went and tried it. And I thought, well, you know what? We got 2 teenage kids in tow, so we can get their opinion as well.
Yep.
And now that there's 4 of us, we can maybe try a few more things.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Eat by Maneet.
Yeah.
And I guess first, just talk a little bit about kind of the layout and setting. This is open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. This is quick service, but you would consider fast casual. In the sense of a way,
you order, you sit down, you have a little buzzer,
Yeah.
they bring you your food. It's cute. It's small. It's not huge. It's quaint.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah.
But nice.
It is. Yeah, it is. what I found interesting in the setting was it's lots of like reds and oranges and tones you would normally think with like Indian.
Yes.
Has very much. I mean, this is a quick service that they could pick up. They could put right in Animal Kingdom Lodge area.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and it would fit in with all that type of stuff. What I found interesting, it looked like it wasn't complete.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Like this was like a pop-up restaurant or something that's going to be temporary. It didn't seem like it was going to be there, so hopefully forever.
Yeah, we'll see.
But it is very quaint and homey, and I like the setting. You walk in, and it's nice because somebody currently, and they've only been open for a very short time.
Right.
Currently, a cast member is greeting you out front. So right away, it has a little bit different feel than a standard quick service. And they tell you, come on into the right, and there's your menu boards, and there's what I would have liked. Now, there's a menu outside. I would like at that moment where they hand you a menu.
Okay.
Because, I'd perused the menu online.
Yes.
Obviously, the three of you had never seen it.
Correct.
So for me, it's tough when you get somewhere brand new that you don't know what's on the menu, that you have to stand in front of the menu board and read it while there's people waiting there. They're going to take your order and check you out.
Right.
And at the register, and there could be people coming in behind you.
Right.
So I would have liked to have a menu in hand that we could look at and stand off to the side.
You always are like that, though.
I am like that. I mean, I'm also the same person that recites what I'm going to order in my head dozens of times before I'm actually up to order it. So they have everything from their shareables, pizza and breads, market fresh, and then they have build your own bowl, as well as additions, and then, of course, a kids dessert, and they do have some signature drinks. So we ended up they do have house wines. They've got some boozy slushies. They've got some non-alcoholic beverages, some beers, but they had this, what was it, 2 chicks?
Oh, it's super cool.
Canned beverages.
Yeah, so there was a gin, a vodka, and a tequila. And mine, what I got, which was a vodka, was a vodka, like a lime.
It's kind of like
cranberry.
a cherry limeade almost, wasn't it?
But I think it was cranberry.
Okay, cranberry, lime, and vodka?
Yeah, and it was a little bubbly, but not majorly, and it was really shockingly good.
Yeah. I had the tequila one.
You did. Mine said there was only 5% basically alcohol, so it's real low.
Yeah, like drinking a beer.
It was great. It was a great little refreshing drink that I had with our food.
Yeah, I enjoyed mine, and I didn't know that they had like cocktail canned cocktail type thing, so it was nice. Those were $12 each, which is also the same price basically as their house wines, their boozy slushies, and then they've got like a Eat Citra pale ale for $8, and then they have these yogurt lassies, which are $5 each. There's a mango and a vanilla, and that's like a traditional Indian kind of almost like smoothie yogurt based drink.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of almost wish now we had made the kids get one just to try it. Let's move on to the shareables, and they do have a couple here. They've got like samosas. They've got a do-it-yourself pani puri, which is the semolina puffs, garbanzo beans, potatoes, tamarind, date chutney, mint cilantro water. Two of the things that I had heard good things about and told were a must to get is the Eat bread service with pimento whipped paneer. This comes with buttered naan, garlic naan, pimento whipped paneer cheese, masala vegetable sticks, Indian pickle, coriander, honey, and chutneys. So the Indian pickle is a pickled garlic. These are your sauces, your accoutrement, your bread service sauces. There's the coriander, honey, and then they had some chutneys, which were...
There was a jam, which was...
Yeah, it was like a jam.
And then
a berry-style jam, and then now I'm trying to remember what the other one was.
It reminded me of... between molasses and what's the other word I'm thinking of that you put over
like a syrup?
Tomatoes and stuff?
A balsamic?
Yeah, it reminded me of like a molasses and a balsamic mixed together. I cannot explain it other than that. It was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. The Indian pickled sauce that had garlic in it. I was sad because we were so excited when he told us what it was. And it looked very similar, but I guess it's got the Indian touches to it. I did not like it like I do at Sanaa. But It's fine. The naan bread was fantastic.
Yeah. I
kids loved it.
I wouldn't recommend this. This was $18. It is very shareable.
It is. The cheese was good. Kailyn loved the cheese.
The pimento cheese was really good. And they don't have it on the additions or the sides. I don't know if you could go in and ask. I could probably try and find out from John. But like I would, if you could go in and just say, I'd like a side of naan and I'd like some of the pimento whipped paneer. Like I would just do those two together.
Yeah.
The naan is really good.
Yeah, it was.
I actually, and here's the thing with this. It's not that this isn't a good service. But again, when you know what exists over at Sanaa and you've had it, this isn't a good bread service.
Well, I mean, it's just different. It's not. I think you can't compare it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different. The honey chutney stuff or whatever, the coriander honey, that was
pretty
interesting but neat.
Yeah.
And I liked every sauce, and I kind of found myself kind of going back to one or another. I did not mix them, but
it's one of the things we love to do at Sanaa.
Yeah, but
I feel like at Sanaa, because there are so many sauces and so many sides, there is something for everyone. Here, I just don't think these were enough or anything was a standout. I actually liked the naan better than the naan at Sanaa. But I like the sauces and accoutrement and all much better at Sanaa than over here.
Yeah.
I just when you see what else is on this menu, I just think $18 can be spent better getting something else is all.
Yeah, I'll agree
now
with that.
again, it's one of those that you put it in the center of the table, everybody else gets maybe their own meal, you throw this in the center of the table and y'all just enjoy it because it's so shareable and it's so like just that communal type thing.
And it's something like if you're wanting to dip your toes in an Indian.
Yeah. And it's certainly a heck of a lot more accessible than going to Animal Kingdom Lodge, getting your reservation at Sanaa, sitting down. That's a lot more time consuming. Yeah. So I do still think that this is something you could try if you're here. The other thing that was highly recommended was the tandoori chicken poutine for $14. So this is chaat masala fries, tandoori chicken, white cheddar curds, and a rich tomato butter sauce. I still don't think this is poutine.
This was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. And that's the discussion we were having, and we're even having it with like Kailyn and Talon and all. I'm like, poutine really, by definition, is fries, gravy, cheese curds, right?
Right.
Everything else is loaded fries.
Right.
So just call them loaded fries. These are tandoori chicken loaded fries, and they are absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm. They really were. Really good.
It was spot on.
Yeah, really good flavors altogether. The only sad part is you need to eat it and kind of start eating it right away because those fries do kind of sog real quick.
Yeah.
So,
seriously, all the flavors were so spot on.
Mm-hmm.
That tandoori chicken was so good. They're nice little thin, perfectly cooked slices of chicken, and the chunks of the cheese curds. That cheese got all melty, and I loved this. But you're right. The only thing I hate about it is that you just got to eat it all because it's not going to be any good as leftovers.
Yeah. And not leftovers.
Trust me, we were, and you'll hear. I mean, we got a good amount of food, and this is a hefty portion.
Yes, it was.
Like this could either eat as an entire meal for yourself, or again as a shareable. It is very, very shareable.
Yeah.
And even the kids liked it.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, we were getting down to the end. And we're like, all right, what are we taking with us? And I'm like, we can't. There's no reason to take any of this leftover with us.
Correct.
So then we just were like, all right, well then let's eat. Make sure we eat all the pieces of chicken that are in here. And I was like picking at the cheese still, like almost as we're about to walk away with it to the trash. I absolutely loved this, and I would. This will be one of those where we'll go. And spoiler alert, we want to go back. We really enjoyed this place overall. It'll be so hard not to get this, just so we can try other stuff in the future. Because that's how much I loved it.
Well, and I didn't know what else they had, honestly, seeing this.
You just told me to pick.
I did, and it was...
Did you even look at the menu, really?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, seeing this, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, this samosas for $9. There's savory potatoes and pea pastry and chutney and mint chutney. Like, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Like, so... I knew you had in mind stuff. That's why I was like, meh, I'll just let you. I don't even really read.
Yeah.
I'll just let you. And I don't know what was going on, but it was hard for me to read it. And I was just like.
And that was the other thing where I would have loved to have had a menu handed to me. Yeah. And I understand 100% it was pulled up on your phone. You know, I get that. But sometimes I like a big printed menu where you can kind of get an overview of everything at once. And I'll tell you now, this is a place that I think you do want to go with friends,
Mm-hmm.
friends that you don't mind sharing plates with, and you want to go here and just be like, everybody pick something, and then we'll all sit down and just share it. You know, I mean, heck, out of the shareables, we ended up getting another one, and this is what Talon wanted, was the walking taco for $12.
Mm-hmm.
We love walking tacos. They're a great camping food.
Yes, they are.
And what's really fun, because your sister-in-law and your brother have done this when they've had us over, and I hope that this is what they do. Actually, maybe this is how we should do it maybe we should do a walking taco bar for Kaylyn's birthday Friday night when she has friends over, as opposed to just a nacho bar. Because what's really cool is you go get the mixed bag of chips, where you have maybe, you could have regular tortilla chips. You have like Doritos, Cool Ranch Doritos, oh my gosh, Fritos. And, you know, traditionally you do that. And then everybody just picks what they want to go in it. You put your meat, you top it, you literally split the bag open.
Yep.
It's your vessel, and you just eat right out of there.
Yeah.
So same idea, but this one has a very different take because it is a crunchy Indian puff snack, which is very, very similar to a Cheeto.
Yes.
But not with the cheese factor involved. Spicy pork chili, Indian pico de gallo, tamarind chutney, and cojita cheese. And they've laid this in a...
It doesn't say on here, but there was jalapenos in there as well.
Pickled jalapenos were in there as well. So they lay the bag in a little plate, basically, and they split it open from the top.
Yep.
Like you're looking and reading the bag. And then they fill it all up, give it to you.
He really liked it.
Yeah, he did.
He let us
tried
all
it
taste.
as well. Yep. I really, really enjoyed all the flavors. I thought
did too.
everything was spot on. I loved it. The Cheeto texture was just a little bit off for me. Like, I actually wonder if this would be really good if they took some of that naan and cut it up into like chips and fried it and used that as a base.
That'd be cool.
But I would recommend this.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was very unique, taking something that I feel like has become an American staple at things like county fairs, again, camping, and having this Indian twist on it.
Yeah, it was.
I thought was really awesome.
Good. And I liked taking a bite with the, because, you know, obviously you can still hear where I'm trying to get over what sickness I've had. And anytime I have a sickness, cold or whatever, I want spicy because I just want to burn it out of me, basically. Yeah. French fries, they were not very spicy. Nothing was very spicy. The naan bread and that jam was like the air quote unquote spiciest out of all of it. But it was nice when I took a bite of his and took a bite of the pickled jalapeno because it was a good jalapeno and it gave me some spice.
Definitely.
So,
and you know, there's a misconception, and I have it too, that Indian food is supposed to be spicy, and it's really not. It's much more about the spices that are used,
right,
as opposed to heat.
Yeah.
But I found myself wishing that I could have some heat with some of these.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, even if it was, I know you can go to a lot of Asian restaurants and that you can get something like, and we'll talk about pad thai later, I think next episode, you could get something like pad thai and they could say, what spice level do you want? And again, while Indian food is not particularly known to be spicy or should be, and it's more about the flavors and all of that, I just would have liked some, you know? Like, even going back to the poutine, they do have a market fresh section, which includes a street style puffed rice salad. There is a samosa chopped salad, and then you can enhance those salads with tandoori chicken, paneer tikka, basil cilantro shrimp.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
Or a masala roasted cauliflower.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good. They have a build your own bowl, and I will totally do this next time.
Yes.
$18. You pick a base. There are tons of different bases. You pick your kebab, like tandoori chicken, paneer tikka, that basil cilantro shrimp, the masala roasted cauliflower again. You have a base that goes under that. So that's rice, cauliflower, salad greens, and then you get to pick from all these different sauces to top it with.
Wow.
So I think that
does sound
amazing. Next up is the pizza and bread section. They've got a lot of non-pizzas. Mm-hmm. One thing we love to do at home, especially with the kids, is I will go buy the Stonefire non-bread, and you can get the small ones. They're maybe 8 inches or something around, or across, I should say, and get all the toppings for pizza, and then let each kid build their own pizza on that non-bread and bake them off, and it's delicious. Yeah. So that's what they're doing here for the most part. You got a spicy green chili naan, just a buttered naan, which is a traditional Indian flatbread. And that's literally just the naan that we had before. So where I was talking about maybe not getting the bread service, I would just order this, or they have the garlic naan for $5. I would just get like one of those or two of those and just eat them as is.
I agree.
To be honest. Or in the additions, they do have the yogurt raita for $3. or mint chutney, tamarind chutney. So you
Mm.
technically could almost make your own little bread service that I
Nice.
think potentially could be better. Then they've got a paneer naan pizza with a spinach sauce. And finally, which we ordered, is the chicken tikka naan pizza for $14. This is probably 12 to 14 inch across pizza. So
yeah, how many pieces
a
were
personal
probably
was
in
cut
it?
into 4.
Because you cut me a small piece.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
This is chicken kebab, rich tomato, butter sauce, mozzarella, and Parmesan.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
It was fine.
It's not
for
a
me.
crispy
It's not.
crust.
It's
at all.
floppy.
Yes, it is. But I thought the flavors were great. And this is something that I could see me making at home. Like one night we had like some chicken tikka that we like pre-made. We bought from
Yeah, that's
Costco.
true. Yeah,
And I was like, you know what? I'd
That.
like to get some naan bread to dip in it. And then the next day I'm like, we got leftovers. What do I
Yeah.
do with this? Let's turn it into like a chicken tikka naan pizza.
Okay.
So I'd get this. I would try the other ones. Like, yeah. I really enjoyed it
Mm-hmm.
for what it was. And
Yeah.
I think that this is a really cool way to introduce people to the flavors of Indian food.
Yeah.
Without being like crazy about it. And we
Mhm.
know from having John on, the other week that this is more dumbed down by Maneet's. She's got several restaurants that are all very nice table service style restaurants.
Right.
And this is not that. This is that kind of dumbed down a little bit, but I think it's a perfect fit for Disney Springs. I think
Nice.
it is much needed.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to go back.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think overall of your experience? Would you recommend this to folks?
Yeah, I would recommend it, like you just said, if you're like, I want to try some Indian food. Would I have wanted to eat here besides doing our podcast? Probably not.
No.
It's just because I think that's not a cuisine to me. Like, I'll never forget. There's times where Jeremy's like, babe, what do you want to eat tonight? And I'm like, I don't know. And you get so frustrated that you're like, okay, just pick American, Italian, Indian, Greek. Like, you'll say that, and then I'll be like, ooh, okay. Unfortunately, Indians never like crossed my mind to be like, ooh, make that. I do love the tikka masala stuff you've done before. But I'm super happy we did.
Yeah.
And I would go back again. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to see this be the jump point for this to be a franchise type of place that you find along the lines of going to your Chipotle's and Panda Express and like anywhere in the, all over the country.
Yeah.
Like if they put one of these, all the building they're doing around us, if they put one of these in there, I'd get something from there once a month. I can guarantee it pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. That would be neat. I do like how too you can do the little naans.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, they have I do like the kids too. They've got a little naan pizza for the kids. They got crispy chicken fingers, which is great. They also have, I'll be honest, I would get this, little sliders for the kids, $9.
Cute.
2 Hawaiian roll sliders with beef patties and American cheese. Like, tell me that doesn't just sound good.
That sounds very
just
good,
2
actually.
beef and cheese little hamburger sliders, I think would be absolutely outstanding. All right, so before we do head over to Universal, the kids wanted to shop. They wanted to go around and check out some of the stores and stuff. And this weekend was all about, of course, Kailyn, but it was about the 4 of us.
Yes.
And us getting to know Talon better. And I mean, he's already become such a part of our family that we know he already fits right in.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we don't want to like just be third and fourth wheels sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, we want them to have some of their own freedom. And we know that, they had a great time with us. We had a great time with them, but they don't need to be around us every second the way we want to be around them because we don't get to see them a lot. So we're like, all right, you know what? Why don't you all go out? Why don't you shop? You wanted something spicy.
Yes.
Help clear sinuses. So where did you recommend we
If
revisit?
they were going to go shopping, I was like, well, I would love to go back to Summer House and sit at the bar and have the Tropical Breeze, I think is the name of the drink. It's got vodka, lemon juice or lime juice. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, lime juice.
Lime juice and a habanero honey.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this will be so good for me. So we go over there and there's 2 bars. One when you first walk in, and then there's one basically facing the water and on the outside. And you can be on the outside or the inside. So I said, do you want to sit at this one or go look at the water? He was like, oh yeah, let's go back there. So we do. Of course, I order my drink and I said, could you put a little more habanero honey in it? Well, she was like, do you want it spicy or do you want it spicy and sweet? And I'm like, ooh, good call. I don't like my drinks too sweet. So she actually muddled some jalapenos and put some honey, the habanero honey in it. And she was like, how's this? And I was like, oh my God, it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah. And that was Isabella was our bartender. She was outstanding. Like she's one that we'll go back and hope that she's working sometime and say hey again. But what we found out, because you were saying like, yeah, we thought it'd be a great place. We love that there's like 2 bars. And she's like, no, you know what? There's actually a 3rd bar. So there's a whole section on the right, basically kind of, I think it's on the other side, back area, the cookie bar area.
I think so.
That is an entire other like dining room and bar. She said it's actually the biggest bar out of all 3 of them. But they don't open it all the time. They basically open it when they're full at the other bars or the restaurant and they just need more space. They just haven't gotten that busy yet.
Or if the weather's not good.
Yeah, and they need to close the outside bar area. So just thought that was cool. But yeah, we sat there for a little bit.
Yeah, just one drink. Enjoyed ourselves and then met up with them, and they were walking around too because we were full. We were all full.
Yeah.
So they wanted some a Dole Whip sampler that just dropped today or of that day.
Yeah.
And Jeremy read it out loud and she was like, yes, this is what I want.
I would say the past 5 times we've been to Disney Springs and taken the kids, they end up with the Dole Whip.
Oh, absolutely.
Sampler. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's like a go-to now. Yeah. It's a tradition.
So this one, you get 3 of them for $7.49, and it is one is a Dole Whip cherry with lime, strawberry, and boba pearls, and a maraschino cherry. Your other one is lemon with pink cotton candy soft serve, lemon curd, and cotton candy. Their third one is pineapple and vanilla soft serve, of course, which is your normal with a pineapple wedge.
Your standard swirl, pretty much. But
I thought you just said squirrel.
No, it is not your standard squirrel. That'd be a very weird squirrel. First of all, these come in, they're small martini glasses. You get the 3 of them, of course, but it's a good portion in each one.
Yes, it is.
And I would say for $7.49, this is a steal.
I agree.
Again, especially the shareability. I mean, shoot, if there were just 3, if there was just me, you, and Kailyn.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I love the pineapple and vanilla soft serve. And he said, well, I want the cotton candy. And Kailyn was like, I'm good with cherry. It's a great portion for each of us to have a dessert and have our own little cup for $7.49. Like, I just think it's a must. And like all the different ones we've had, I don't know that I've ever really had one that I'm just like, whoa, this is amazing.
I agree.
But they're all always good.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're always refreshing. And they've got tables right there. There's not a ton of them. It's right there across from Rainforest Cafe at Disney Springs. You can sit right there on the water. You can enjoy your Dole Whips. And I really love this location, and I love doing these swirls.
Yep.
Every single time.
They were all good. Of course, Kailyn loved her regular pineapple with vanilla.
Yeah.
I really liked the lemon and pink cotton candy one. That was good.
I actually think the cherry then was probably my favorite. Actually, the cherry and the lime. It was like a it was like a cherry limeade Dole Whip. So would definitely recommend this.
Yeah.
It's a good, and this is where sometimes, I mean, again, we were full, but they did ask if we wanted dessert when we were at Eat. But we already kind of knew we wanted to do this later. After Summer House, you looked and you're like, let's look at the cookie bar, see what there is. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just wait and let's do the Dole Whip. Yep. And again, I mean, the 4 of us, it was like, okay, let's take a last bite or 2 so we can try and finish all these. So it really is a good portion, I think. I really love it. So this was kind of, again, we really stopped here to eat at Eat by Maneet. And then we knew we were going to go over to Surfside for the rest of the weekend. So they were currently running a Florida resident buy a day, get a day free, basically, for Universal. 2 park. 2 days, what it ends up being. So it is date based on when you say, I want to start it on this day, And then you have, that's the date you're going to start, and that's going to be how your pricing is based.
Correct.
These were blocked out and did not start until January 6th. So when we were looking, we went down on January 5th, said, all right, we'll go down on the 5th. We'll have to do the parks Saturday and Sunday. And said, originally we were just going to do Surfside or Dockside for the 2 nights. And then just started thinking, and we're like, and actually we were talking, I think, to Tina, and she was like, you should really look at doing, one of the premier hotels for the 1 night, and get unlimited express pass. And I'm like, man, this is the last hurrah before most kids' winter break is up. This is, I believe, the start back from some pass holder blockout days for the holidays. This is the start of this Florida resident buy a day, get a day free ticket. I'm like, it's going to be slammed. We already know it is.
Right.
It's been slammed for 2 weeks, obviously. It's the holidays.
What we have is literally after 4. And so with his ticket, he wouldn't have anything.
Yeah, he would have no express pass, which means ours is worthless after 4 because we're not going to do it without him.
Right.
So started looking, of course, MainSTMagicTravel.com can book Disney, can book anywhere in the world, can book Universal, and was like, all right, we're not staying at a premier hotel 2 nights. It doesn't make any sense, right? And it's expensive. So it's like, well, what if we do Surfside the 1 night?
Well, why does it make any sense to stay 2 nights, Jeremy?
Well, Friday, the unlimited express pass would have done us no good.
Right.
So there's no need to spend that extra money on Friday night other than to have a nicer hotel.
Okay.
Really.
A Surfside, or were you going to go where, like, when you check in, you get it for that day and the day you check out until they close, and you can stay parked at Hard Rock until midnight, I believe.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, but that's the thing you need to remember is when you do one of the premier hotels, you get from check-in day to check-out day. So even if you're doing 1 night, you get 2 days technically of unlimited express pass. And again, I said unlimited. It is not the single-use express pass that you can purchase, or the way that our after 4 is, where you go, I want to ride Velocicoaster, cool, express pass. I want to ride it again. Nope, sorry, you can't. This is unlimited. You could ride Velocicoaster until you vomit all over the place.
Ew.
Just saying.
No.
We did not choose to do that. But so that's one thing that's really great, right? So it's like, all right, well, if we stay like Surfside Friday night, and then we'll just move to one of the premier hotels, and I'm thinking Royal Pacific is going to be the cheapest. Then I looked, and I was like, all right, Portifino and Hard Rock were within about $30 of each other, and they weren't bad considering. And so I gave it to Kailyn and Talon. I said, you pick which one you want to stay at, and they picked Hard Rock. I said, okay, we'll do it, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So we booked Surfside for Friday night because it was going to be much cheaper. We wanted to do the 2-bedroom because it would give us 3 beds. That is a bed for Rhonda and I, a bed for Kailyn, and a bed for Talon, because they are not sharing a bed.
No.
They're almost 16 and 17-year-old boyfriend and girlfriend, and why they lay around a lot, there's just something different. Even though we're in the same room and we're in the bed next to them, there's just something that we're not going to allow. I feel like it takes it to a different level if you say, yes, you two may sleep overnight in the same bed together, even if literally I was standing at the end of the bed staring at them all night watching. There's still something about it. So we said we're not going to do that. So I looked when I was getting all the prices again through Main Street Magic Travel about, all right, what does it look like to stay in the 2-bedroom? It was like around $200 some.
Yeah.
Looked at the regular standard room, which has 2 queen beds, $107 all in.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I said, we've got a single air mattress. We'll bring it. We'll blow it up. We'll stick that on the floor because we're not breaking occupancy rules.
Correct.
There's still only 4 of us in the room, which is what's allowed.
Correct.
It's just a different arrangement of sleeping.
Correct.
So that's what we figured we would do. And then Talon actually stayed at our house the night before, the Thursday night, so we could get up Friday morning and just go.
Yeah.
And we blew up the single air mattress that we were taking and put it in the living room for him to sleep on. Actually, Kailyn blew it up. And we come out the next morning and it's like deflated and he's sleeping on the floor, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I said, Kailyn blew it up. We've never had issues. We've used this one all the time. So Kailyn blew it up. So I don't know if I have all the faith in the world that she did so correctly and closed the valve, right?
Right.
So I'm like, that's probably the deal. I said, we'll pack it, but when we get to Surfside, why don't we ask about a rollaway?
Yeah.
So we went, checked into Surfside, asked about a rollaway.
They do not have them.
They do not there. So I'm like, all right, we'll bring in the air mattress. We'll blow it up. We had brought extra sheets. We requested extra blankets and pillows that we could use with it. And another spoiler alert, it turns out there is a small leak in the air mattress. So we left it in the garbage at Surfside when we left, and then we'll talk about Hard Rock later. But what we've now, this is kind of, we go back when we stayed at the 3 all-star resorts, month. We've now stayed at both Surfside, Dockside, many times over the past 3.5 years. But specifically, we've now stayed at both over the course of the last 2 months. Do you have a preference on to which one you like? Because I know I do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree. Like, I know we were talking about earlier. I think I like Surfside more because it is smaller.
Yeah.
And it's quaint. And like getting Starbucks this morning or yesterday, whatever morning it was now, that was super simple and wasn't a stupid, crazy long line.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, I really kind of like it.
Yeah, check-in lines seem to be shorter.
Yep.
Starbucks line seems to be shorter. Overall, it feels much less busy.
Mm-hmm.
It can be a nightmare in the mornings and at night over at Dockside to use the elevators.
Yes.
We didn't have any issues with the elevators
Correct.
and waiting here. Now, you get a smaller food court, but it's still really good.
Yeah, wait till I tell you about my dinner.
Yeah. And then you get a smaller gift shop that does not sell belts. I will let you know about that. There are no belts in this gift shop. In case you forgot to pack yours, and your jeans won't stay on you if you don't have a belt. But I really do like it so much more. It feels more quaint.
Yeah.
It's kind of more chill. It has much more of that beach vibe, whereas Dockside is much more of a lake vibe.
Yep.
I really, really like it here. We had not stayed in a standard room in a while because usually we can usually get the 2 bedrooms for $150 or under, and it makes sense. And the girls don't want to share a bed.
I just started to say the girls just don't want to share a bed anymore, and which is fine. So then they each get a bed, and yeah, it was great, but it was weird being in a standard one.
It was
a lot smaller than I remember.
Well,
but again, we were just gonna sleep there.
Yeah, but here's the thing: it's a wonderful room and it's a wonderful layout.
Mm-hmm.
If you're only going to need to utilize the space of those 2 beds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it was, if you have 2 people in one bed, 2 people in the other, the room is much bigger than when you have 2 people in one bed, 1 person in another bed, and you're trying to squeeze a single air mattress somewhere in there.
Yeah.
We had to put it on the floor between the 2 beds. We said, Kailyn, you can sleep on it because you're smaller. You'll fit on it better.
And he just slept on it the night before.
And so we inflated it, because the kids were still out. So we inflated the whole thing and then realized it was starting to lose air. I found a small hole in it, which we basically plugged up with like a Band-Aid.
Pretty
much. It appeared to be working.
It did.
So I blew it back up and it appeared to be fine. It appeared to be working.
Yep.
Hour and a half later, it still appeared to be fine.
Oh, really? Because I fell asleep.
Yeah. Kailyn woke up on the floor to an deflated mattress in the morning. So again, that's why we ended up leaving it there. But so we just knew that Friday night was going to be chill. I had hoped that the kids had picked Portifino Bay as the resort to stay at because I just love it there.
Yeah.
But they picked Hard Rock. So I was like, you know what? Friday night, I said, why don't we get into the room? We'll get settled in. Our room was ready when we got there.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, let's go take the bus transportation, which again, I think Universal's bus transportation is absolutely outstanding. It is spot on every time we go.
Yep.
We rarely have to wait at all. You know, it's even if you do have to wait because that bus in front of you fills up, another one's coming right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, we can bus over to Citywalk. We can kind of shop. We can walk around, do whatever. And then I said, why don't we boat to Portifino? Because I really want to show the kids like that whole open area on the water in the middle of Portifino. I'm thinking, we can grab something to eat over there. We can just kind of relax. It'll be a good time. Then we can come back to Citywalk and then bus back to the room. And that'll be our evening. So we head to Citywalk, and I can barely get over there because I don't have a belt for my jeans. And I'm thinking there's a surf shop right there as soon as you get in. I can hold these up with my hand.
And not for nothing. When we were at Disney Springs earlier, he was shopping, and
but I was wearing my shorts that
No, I'm talking about Talon here.
Oh,
right now.
Yeah.
He was at a surf store. I think it was the Ron John.
Yeah.
And he actually bought himself a belt.
Yeah.
So.
I was unaware I needed one at that time.
Continue. So we were headed to Citywalk.
Yeah, so we're heading to Citywalk.
And he needed a belt. So I was like, oh, there's the surf store right there. They'll totally have them. Talon bought one from Disney Springs. Now go
Like,
ahead.
all set, go ahead and in here buy a belt. Walk in, guy, hey, how can I help you? And I'm just like, yeah, looking for belts. We just sold out. You got to be kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, is there any other shop here that might sell belts? And he's like, nope, not that I can think of.
Yep.
I'm like, great. So luckily, we always bring back our refillable mugs because we fill them with water from the freestyle machines
Correct.
all weekend.
Yes.
And so I had my refillable Mardi Gras cup, and recently Universal's been selling these cup holder like lanyard things.
Yeah, super nice.
And it's almost like a little purse just for your cup.
Yep.
And so I had brought that with the Mardi Gras one. And it's got a clip and it's got a strap. And I'm like, I can use this as a belt. Now it does have a cup holder on it that you can't remove. So I got it to my waist size and I put it through my belt loops and everything. And I fashioned a belt out of it. But then I just have this flappy kind of tail cup holder sticking out the back, which I'm like, you know what? I can live with that. It's fine. So in a pinch, it did work. I mean, I was literally about to buy shoelaces and just do like the kids do.
Yeah.
Where they use shoelaces as belts now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I was like, man, I just kept thinking, I was like, I don't want to spend money. I already own one belt more than I need because I forgot one at Disney one time and bought a Disney belt.
Right.
So anywho, that's what happened. So I wear in the parks now, I always wear my 32-degree shorts because they're super light. They're comfy. If you get wet on anything, whether it be rain, which we knew was coming this weekend, or a water ride, they dry real quick, but they don't take a belt. They're elastic waistbanded with a drawstring. So when I'm packing, if I'm not wearing a belt down that day, I just sometimes forget it. So I need to just take a belt and just keep it in our bag all the time.
Okay.
The way we had to do with extra toiletries because we completely forgot our overnight bag that one trip. I've already told Rhonda we need like it wouldn't be a first aid kit. I guess just like a travel kit. Just for stuff. And I mean, it really is a good idea. Our friend Kat does this with different medicines and stuff and vitamins and all, is just get like a little pill container.
Yeah.
And, fill one with some Tylenol, one with some Aleve, one with some sinus medicine or allergy medicine, maybe have some with some Tums or Pepto-Bismol. Like we almost need to just, Band-Aids. Like we need to create a kit that includes just certain things.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm still considering doing it because you can get the DVC lockers, owner's lockers, without being DVC. Like I'm still almost tempted just to do that with Disney, but we just wouldn't fill a whole one with anything. Yeah. So I think just doing this would be better. But so we hopped around there for a little bit around Citywalk and all, and then you were just tired. You were exhausted. I mean,
well, y'all were starting to walk to Portifino, and y'all were
going to
walk
walk to the boats. We were going to go to the boats.
Oh, you were?
Yeah,
we were doing the boats. Y'all were walking to.
That was not the original plan. No, we were headed to the boats.
Oh, and then
you were
the boats were crazy.
Nothing to do with walking. You just
and then we were all going to walk.
Yeah,
and I was like, I just can't. I need to go back because this was Friday night. We have parks all day Saturday and we have parks all day Sunday, and I have to go work 12 hours every day, fully slammed because I missed a day of work last week. So I'm like, all right, I'm not trying to kill myself.
It was a very smart decision on your choice to go back and rest.
So I did, but I was hungry. So I stopped at the place in Surfside and got to look at what I wanted to eat. And I was like, oh, I don't have to think about Jeremy. I can get whatever I want. But there was nothing I saw I wanted until over at this one station. It said shrimp pesto. I was super excited. So that's what I got. I think it was like 12 something. I think it was like $15 all in with because I got a Twix as well. But it was super neat. He's literally like, what do you want? And he starts putting it in a pan and cooking it in front of me, and puts garlic and salt and pepper with his shrimp that he's cooking. And then he puts this pesto sauce, and he was like, do you want penne or spaghetti? And I was like, oh, I'll do penne, please. And I took that back up to the room. I ate it. It was fantastic for being just, what do you call it, food court.
I'm telling you, man, Universal does their food courts right. Their quick service food courts, they do really, really well. It was great. Like, we've been super impressed, from these two all the way to like Bayside Diner over at Cabana Bay. Like, they do a really good job.
They do.
And the fact that they're You know, and it's not like he's sitting there obviously like fully cooking the shrimp in front of you or fully cooking the pasta in front of you. Oh, the shrimp were raw when he started them? Oh, wow. That's impressive. Because I thought it was just much of an assembly process. Wow.
No.
That's outstanding.
It was. And it was like, it was super cool. He's like, do you want cheese? And it was really cool. And I got upstairs and ate it. And I mean, again, I was very hungry too. But I feel like you can't mess something up like that.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was fresh.
It is. And remember, we've talked about there being some back and forth between these pre-plated meals under a heat lamp and then making them fresh like this.
Yeah, it was.
And this beats
really
it
good.
hands down.
It really was. And then I showered and just crawled into bed and watched my show. And then you got back earlier.
Yes,
so with the kids.
Yeah, I'll cover what we
ahead.
did because walked down with the kids to the boats and they were very, very busy. And I was like, well, let's not wait for another boat. We can just walk there and then we'll boat back because I did want to do a boat.
Mm-hmm.
So we start the walk there and you walk down past Hard Rock and then you cross the bridge and you're right over there at Portifino. I mean, it might be a 15 to 20 minute walk, but it's right along the water. It was a beautiful, cool evening. The rain wasn't coming in till the morning. Like it was nice. And we got over there and Kailyn was just like, if you've not been to Portifino, there's this huge, it's on the water and the boats come right up to the little dock there. And then there's like a 0 entry beach, but there's not sand on it. It's just the best way to think of it. And there's boats docked, like floating in the water that look like old, like Italian, like boats and all. And then the building surrounds this whole open, I can only think to call it like a quad area. It's a big common area, which includes restaurants and bars and shops and the one Thirsty River, I believe it's called, bar and restaurant right there, has outdoor seating and they start live music at 9 p.m. And it's an incredible area.
Nice.
And that's what I wanted to show them. And Kailyn just absolutely loved it. She was like, now, and we hadn't been to Hard Rock yet. She was like, I kind of wish I had picked here now. She's like, but you know what? If I was staying here, I'd want to just like stay here. I wouldn't want to be doing the parks. I'd want to do more of like a staycation. So we start kind of looking around and I really wanted pizza. So I'm like, well, let's go. And I look at some menus and said, let's go over to the Splendido Bar and Grill, which is at their pool.
Okay.
Now, all the Universal hotels on property there are owned by Lowe's. And if you are staying at one of them, you can use your key card to access any of the pools at any of the resorts. So we're able to use our key card to get into the pool area and go eat here. And technically we could go swimming if we wanted. In theory, that's great, but I'm not a huge, I don't like that idea.
Yeah.
Because if you're in that example, there we are staying at Surfside. Now it was cooler. So the pool was dead. There was nobody. I think it was one other table of people eating. So it's not like we were taking up space.
Right.
You know, Lowe's and Universal are going to be happy they're taking our money for the food regardless.
Right.
But if this was summertime and I had a long park day and I'd paid Portifino money and I had a long park day and our whole family came back and were like, we want to go relax by the pool this evening and went down there. And let's just say a whole bunch of people had come over from Surfside the way we did, and they were taking up pool chairs. You know what I mean? Like, It's just one of those things. I do think you should pay. You should get what you pay for.
Okay.
Like we paid for Surfside's pool, so that's the pool that we should utilize when we're staying there.
Yeah.
But sat down for dinner at Splendido, and we had Alfredo as our waiter, and
cute.
very, very dead. But we sat right there overlooking the pool, the three of us. It was really nice. I went ahead and got a Kentucky lemon drop mojito. I know you're not going to believe me, but you maybe would have liked this. It was Benchmark No. 8 bourbon, limoncello, fresh lemon juice, simple syrup, mint, soda, and water. You would have been like, can I have that without bourbon? It was super
Actually,
good.
I see the Italian raspberry limoncello.
Yeah, limonada.
Yeah, it's Kettle One vodka, limoncello, lemon juice, simple syrup, and muddled raspberries.
That sounds great.
It sounds amazing.
That really, really does. Yeah, they do have some non-alcoholic beverages that Talon got, which was it was a lavender. It was like a lavender with Sprite and like I think some lime. He loved it. He
That's
absolutely
awesome.
loved it. Yeah. So this is really kind of your standard pool bar. You've got chips and salsa and nachos, wings. You got a chicken quesadilla, a couple different pizza options, all your standard salads, burgers, turkey club, chicken tenders, wraps. things like that. So it's a very, very standard pool bar. Kailyn went ahead and got the Caesar salad. This is $15. And as we will learn, the pool bar and pricing between Portifino and Hard Rock is very different. Because $15 is actually a steal here. And this is a good portion salad, romaine hearts, croutons, Parmesan cheese, and Caesar dressing. She loves Caesar salad. Of course, Alfredo asked, would you like to add chicken? Or you could add chicken, shrimp, or fish. $8 for chicken. Kailyn said, no, thank you. Because Kailyn, in her mind, the whole time is thinking, I know it. She didn't say it out loud, is that will cost more money.
I know,
and she's not
so
paying
sweet.
for it.
Nope.
So she's just super sweet about that. And this, anytime this kid wants something to eat, like she gets it because she doesn't eat. Like I don't, I mean, seriously, when she turns sideways and she disappears.
Okay.
Like she
really
is
doesn't.
so tiny and she barely eats. So she was eating the Caesar salad and she's just fine. And then I was like, can I try the Caesar salad? And she's like, yeah. So I tried it. And I was like, that dressing is really weird. And then all of a sudden she goes, you know what? It is. I don't think I like it. She'd already eaten several bites. So poor thing. I didn't know that she was going to stop eating it. So I felt bad because I don't think she wanted any more.
So she stopped eating it after you told her it was bad.
She had a little bit more. I didn't say it was, I'm not saying bad like in something had gone wrong or soured. It was a weird Caesar dressing. It was really strong in some flavor. I couldn't.
Anchovies?
No. They're not back there making this Caesar dressing.
Okay.
Bet this is out of a bottle or can or something. But so poor thing, we did bring it back, and because Talon thought he might eat it later. But
what did he get?
Well, he did get the chicken Caesar wrap for $18.
Okay.
So grilled chicken, romaine lettuce, Parmesan cheese, tomato tossed with Caesar dressing, and a spinach wrap came with fries.
Did he like it?
Yeah, he ate the whole thing.
Good.
He eats very, very well because
he does.
I mean, he's my size, but 17 years old.
Yeah.
Like, so, and I know what I could put away because I've been this size since I was 17 years old. So I know what he can put away a lot of food. I went ahead, got a pepperoni pizza for $17. This is probably, again, about a 14-inch across pizza. It was really good. It was exactly kind of what you'd expect. I didn't see a wood fire grill pizza oven back there, but it tasted as though that's what it came off as.
Nice.
Crispy crust, very cheesy, great pepperoni. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I just had wanted some good pizza. And so this was absolutely perfect as far as that goes.
Good.
So we're coming back, and one of the things that I really like about Universal is the proximity and how you can walk from one park to another, how you can walk from Citywalk to the parks and back and forth. Where it's awful is when the parks close and you just want to hang out at Citywalk and enjoy yourself, because it is an absolute madhouse as those two parks empty and converge on Citywalk for people that aren't staying in Citywalk. They're not trying to get something to eat or drink or do anything. They're just the masses having to head back to the buses and the parking garage. And it was nuts by the time we were coming back through there. But kids got some frozen yogurt.
Okay.
And then I was like, they were kind of shopping, and I told Cam, I was like, I don't want to just hover around you guys and like be a third wheel. Like, I know you two want to just kind of hang out and probably be on your own. I said, I'm gonna walk around and like shop some or just look at some things. She said, okay. I was like, I'll meet up with you in a little bit. So then I met up with him like after they got the frozen yogurt, and I was like, you know what? I said, if you're okay with it, I think I'm just gonna go back to the room. I was like, you guys can hang out for a little bit and you'll be able to hop on the bus, make your way right back. Like, is that cool? She's like, that sounds great. So I headed back to the room, and then I get a text from her a little bit later that says, because they were actually mentioning this on the way in, they said, I think we're going to go play the mini golf, because they have the Hollywood Drive-In mini golf right there,
That's super
kind of by
cool.
the entrance.
Yep.
So it's open every day from 9 until midnight.
Wow.
7 days a week. And it is priced, they have two different courses. There is an alien space invader side, and then there's like a haunted cemetery side. So you can either do 18 holes or you can do the double feature, which is 36 holes. Ages 10 plus for the 18 holes is $21.99. Ages 3 to 9 is $19.99. If you do the double feature where you play both courses, you add another $17.99 for 10 plus. So you're saving a little bit by doing both. And then you add $15.99 for ages 3 to 9. There are some different discounts, including military, senior, AAA, preferred and premier annual pass holders Preferred get 10%, Premier get 15%.
I wonder if she did that.
I don't believe she did because she told us the final price. What did she tell you all about this? What did they think of this?
She really, really liked it. They like you said, did the haunted one, and she really enjoyed it. She said it's very interactive, because it'd go in a hole and then like something would like spray at you or do stuff. She said the only thing is, and this is anywhere, the only downfall she called it, but this is any putt-putt place ever, that, I mean, if you have young children, the ages from 3 to 9, and a 3-year-old trying to play putt-putt, and depending on the parent that you are, it can back up.
Yeah.
And I think that's what took them a little bit longer, and unfortunately they backed up. But other than that, she said she thought it was worth the money. She said she would pay it again.
They spent their own money on this. We did not pay for this for them.
We did not. Talon got a job. We all know that Kailyn's had a job for almost a solid year now. And with all this being said, he was like, I'll pay for it. And I was like, "Aw." So I asked her, because they did spend their own money, like if you came back and you're like, let's do the other side, would you then be like, well, this time I'll pay for it? Because, and she said, yeah, I would actually. And I was like, okay, then that to me says enough and it all that it is worth it. It is. She had a great time. She did get 2 holes in ones.
Yes, but lost by 2 strokes to him. She said in the end,
which was super cute.
I just they got back to the room and here I am.
I'm
the
dead
dad.
asleep.
Yeah, Rhonda's out, but I'm the dad, and I'm like, I'm staying up for them. You know, I'm not just gonna fall asleep. So I'm texting her and I'm life 360ing them and seeing that they get on the bus and all. And they just had such a great time.
Yeah,
and I'm so glad that I made the decision to go, you know what? I'm just going to head back. Y'all enjoy yourselves.
Yeah.
You know, if you need anything, I'm here. Like I'm going to stay awake for you. And I'm just so glad that they decided to stick around and do that. Cause they could have easily said, we'll just come back to the room. And,
right.
You know, so I thought it was awesome. And this was, we're going to stop now and then we'll come back because we already covered a lot of ground, but we'll come back next episode and we will talk about moving over to Hard Rock. We will talk about our 2 days at the parks. We'll talk about lunch at the Beach Club at Hard Rock, dinner at Mythos, lunch at 3 Broomsticks. So we still have a lot more to come on the next episode, which will be all about the rest of Universal. So it just, I'm sure we'll say it again next episode. This was just like a perfect weekend.
It was great.
Like I really would barely change a thing. We had such a wonderful, wonderful time. And it's the most time we spent with Kailyn in, a long time. I guess, Thanksgiving, we got to spend a lot of time with both kids, but it was neat to have, I know she has her boyfriend and all there with her, but it was neat to have that much kind of like one-on-one time, or I guess 2-on-2 time, we could say, with them. And it was just a big like couples weekend. Yeah. It was really cool.
It was.
So go ahead and tune in, hit that subscribe button. You get brand new episodes on Tuesday. You'll get the part 2 of this on Friday, where we cover all of the rest of this incredible trip. And then you're going to want to hear our review of Festival of the Arts coming up. We will be there on the 2nd day. We're not there opening day because it actually is Kailyn's 16th birthday on the 12th. But we'll be down there on the 13th with Chuck and Allie, and we will be trying all the new food items and more. And then, we return again a couple weeks later for some fun with Chuck and Amy. So we got lots of Chucks this month to hang out with. But subscribe button Tuesday and Friday. And then, of course, we would be super duper thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.